Hey guys, JJ here, back with some big leaks on Resident Evil 9 Requiem, including the official reveal of Leon Kennedy, traversing the world in a vehicle, gameplay and world details, and so much more. So with that being said, let's get right into it. With Tokyo Game Show right around the corner, many fans are expecting another Resident Evil Requiem trailer, gameplay, and a potential reveal of a companion protagonist. Capcom officially announced that they will in fact have a panel during Tokyo Game Show that is purely dedicated to Resident Evil 9. According to Parasol Project on Twitter, they've said the following: on September 27th and 28th, Sony PlayStation Japan will host a panel dedicated to Resident Evil Requiem. This event will take place as part of the Tokyo Game Show. Additionally, September 28th and the following days are particularly important for the entire Resident Evil series and Raccoon City, which may underscore the significance of this panel. There is also a link to the official live stream, so we know Capcom will officially be at the event and will have a dedicated panel for Resident Evil Requiem. Now we move into leak territory, but before we begin, please leave a like, it really does help the channel, and for all the latest Resident Evil 9 news, please consider subscribing. Alright, I should clarify everything you're about to hear is currently a rumor until officially confirmed by Capcom. With that, there is potential that this information is real and could be spoiler territory, so consider yourself warned. This information comes from Dusk Golem, aka Aesthetic Gamer, who is a well-known Resident Evil insider. Before writing this information off completely because of the source, I may or may not have heard similar information from other sources. However, Dusk is the only one that I know to officially talk about it publicly. Personally, I think there's a lot of weight behind what he has to say, but you can listen and make your own assumptions. Instead of quoting Dusk based on other news articles, I personally reached out to him to see what he had to say. News outlets can oftentimes take things out of context or take his speculation as fact. I figured it would be best to hear directly from the source. Here's what Dusk had to say. Currently, none of his sources know the exact marketing plans from Tokyo Game Show, but he has a pretty good pulse on the grapevine, what's being murmured behind the scenes. It's very loud right now, and we're going to get another trailer at Tokyo Game Show. It's gonna finally reveal Leon Kennedy, and pre-orders will open up. Now moving on to Leon's appearance, Dusk has said that he'll have graying hair, he'll be unshaven, and he is wearing a black jacket. Now moving into the gameplay elements, it is not open world, but Leon has a few large levels, and he'll use a vehicle to traverse at least one of them. He goes on to say that Leon's campaign will be more action-focused, but toned down in comparison to things like the Salazar statue from Resident Evil 4 or the mecha bot fight in Resident Evil Village. He says that Capcom is being very conscious of this. He does say there is a bigger focus on horror and atmospherics, but it'll still be an action game for Leon. He concludes that he's heard Leon's gameplay is set in 2020, where most of, but not all, of Grace's gameplay is set in 2028, which is very reminiscent of the director Nakanishi's style. In Resident Evil 7, he had the lost footage you could find that basically gave you an idea of what happened before you arrived. Speaking of campaigns, Dusk has previously mentioned that there will be one cohesive campaign that switches perspectives, similar to the Revelations games. That means Leon's story will connect directly with Grace's, likely meeting early on, splitting off, then coming back together later in the game. Capcom themselves said Leon wasn't chosen for Resident Evil 9 as a pure horror protagonist, but Dusk reminds us this isn't a pure horror game. Capcom described it as a terrifying survival horror meets heart-pounding cinematic action, which would explain the two styles. Quickly, we'll touch on the timeline and character ages. For those curious about timeline details, Resident Evil 9 takes place in both 2020 and 2028, according to Dusk. That makes Leon 41 to 42 years old in 2020 and 49 to 50 in 2028. Now moving on to this image that recently made its way online. You can see an older Leon with an eye patch, an RPD officer that's now basically a skeleton, and what looks to be a two-headed licker. I've talked to many of my sources, and I've heard from many others that this is fake. This is not a real leaked photo. Now to recap what Dusk had to say, he strongly believes we'll see a trailer at Tokyo Game Show that'll reveal Leon Kennedy as the second protagonist. Personally, I'm excited to see an older Leon Kennedy, and if it's true that he is going to be in the game, I am very excited. I try to read all the comments on our videos, and I see the same ones that repeat. We want Raccoon City. We want zombies back. We want Leon back. And based off of what I'm hearing and the trailers we've received thus far, it looks like all three of those things are happening, and I'm very excited for that. Hearing about a big open world map with a vehicle to traverse had me skeptical at first, but then I remembered Resident Evil 4 Remake's Chapter 4, where you traverse with a boat, and I had a lot of fun with that one. You could go off the beaten path to look for treasures and other collectibles, or just continue with the main campaign. And if it's like that, I don't mind. Regardless, we're not going to have to wait long to find out. Tokyo Game Show will be later this week, and we'll keep you up to date on everything related to Resident Evil 9 Requiem. But now I'm curious to know your thoughts. Are you excited about the possibility of Leon Kennedy returning? Do you think we're going to get a trailer at Tokyo Game Show? What do you think about the big map with the vehicle traversion? Let us know down below in the comments, and let's have a discussion about it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and for all the latest Resident Evil 9 Requiem news, make sure to subscribe. The Residents of Evil is a Patreon supported channel and also supported by our YouTube members. So if you'd like to become a member and unlock access to custom badges, emojis, and exclusive live streams, click that join button down below. You can join our survival horror community on Discord, link will be in the description, and I have the Duke here to tell you a little about our sponsor, G Fuel.
Do you have need of anything for the road ahead? The Residents of Evil has expanded its services. Perhaps you're in need of a little pick-me-up. I recommend the G Fuel. You can even get a fair discount if you use the code ROE upon purchase. And as always, we thank you for your patronage, stranger.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you back at the Residents of Evil.